Okay, welcome back. So now we will see the programs we did in our third class. So I guess it will be more clear to you guys. Let me share my screen first. Can you see the screen? I hope you can see the console. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So this is a program. Simple. So what happens in the structure? It's basically user-defined data type, and you can store various members with different data type. So we can define a structure like this. You have to use the keyword struct, then the name of your structure, which is a student here. So inside this structure, I want to keep three types of records. One is the ID of the student, then I want to keep the name, and then I want to keep the percentage. Okay, so I just put the variable names like ID, name, which is an array, and percentage will be in float. Okay, so this is how you declare your structure. So inside the main function, you have to also define a variable for this particular structure. Okay, so inside the main function, you just define the variable name record. So just mind it, the whole struct student is the structure for you, and only the record is the variable name for you. Okay, so if you want to add anything, means add values to your variables, then you can access the variables like this. So since your variable name is record, you can just type record.id equal to 1. Okay, then if you want to store some name to the name, so you have to just use star copy record name and Raju, because here you cannot directly just define use the syntax name equal to any other names. Okay, so then it's record dot percentage. Then if you run the program, so it's showing the ID1, the name, and the percentage. So whatever value you want to keep inside your structure, then you can directly keep it here. Okay, so this is one way of defining the variable. Okay, that means after defining the variable, you just define a variable for this particular structure inside your main function, which is record. So another way is to do is that you can just directly define a variable here, record. Okay, if you now run the program, you will still get the same. Okay, so both way is possible. Either you define the variable here just after declaring your structure, or you can just declare a variable later inside your main function. Now you got the difference. One is directly write the name here, or you can just define it inside your main function. Then you don't need to write the record here. Both way is just same. So is it clear? Both ways, either write the whole structure name, then you define a variable. With the help of this variable only, you can just access any members inside your structure. Or you can just write the name here, and put it, don't put it here. Got the difference? Both way it's correct. Okay, let's see. Then you can also keep two values together. This is another way of defining. Okay, so now you want to keep two records. Okay, now you want to keep two records. In the first case, I just show you, you can just keep one record. This is another way of declaring any variable for your fund. So here you will get the record for two students, students 1 and student 2. So mind it, this is another way. Student record 1, record 2, like this. Okay, so let's do the same modification here. Let's see what we get here. Like, can we define the two record here? Record 1 and record 2. Let's see what will happen now. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, let's just see. Okay, it's giving error. So this way you are not allowed to define it. Okay, if you want to use this type of assignment, then better use it inside the main function only. Okay, so again, let's try one thing. Can we do this thing here? Let's see if we do this thing here. Okay, let's see if the program allows us to define and declare like this. See, it's giving us. So it is allowing us. So both way again, you can do the same thing. Okay, so you can define it like this way. That is also correct. Or you can just define it inside your main function like this. That is also allowed. So isn't it interesting? It's like you can just define it like so many ways, either inside your main function or outside the main function, just together when you declare your structure variable. So either you can do this one is also allowed, okay, but you cannot like define it record 1 then comma record 2 then this one is not allowed. Okay, just remember it. You cannot do this record 1. This is not allowed. You will get error here. Okay, so if you want to do it inside, then better just use the this way. Then it's fine. So can you see all the variations? Now if you want this user to enter the name, you can write the program like this. Means you want user to enter name, maybe Jane, then ID is 23 and the marks is 78. So it will just display you all the information. Okay, so in previous two programs, you just initialize the variables you yourself. Whatever value you want to store, you did it yourself without any user's intervention. Now, if you want user to enter any names, means want to store some record, then you have to write like this. So here you can see S is defined here. The same thing you can do here. S. And put it here. Name 23. Okay, so just remember the way of declaring the variable and assigning the variable. So in real life, means if you want to develop any system and all uh, to keep student record or any other records, like you want to build a system to keep records of all the books in your library, like library management system and all. So using C, then you have to use structures, because only structures allows you to store record with different data types. Okay, so inside the structure you can keep any normal basic data type of things: array, integer, float type, character type, string, anything. Got it? Just remember the main concept, how we access. If you want to access or store anything, you have to just write the variable name dot the member name you have defined inside your structure. So if variable name is s, then to access that particular variable, you have to write s dot name. Okay, then s dot marks, then s dot role. Okay, don't miss that part. So here the display part is directly I have shown like this. So for this display part, you can just create a function, right? So you can try that. Why? Viva is only for practical. Final যেতিয়া exam হ'ব, practical exam হ'ব, তেতিয়া Viva হ'ব. Otherwise, Viva theory কাৰণে নহয়. Viva is only for practical. So you just check how many practical subjects you have. You have one PPS, then you have English, then graphics, chemistry. Oh. So
ইংলিশৰ ক্লাছটো হোৱাই নাই, এটাও ক্লাছ হোৱা নাই।
এক্সামৰ আগে আগে কিবা এটা কৰিব এইচঅডিক ইনফৰ্ম কৰা গৈছে। লেটস সি কি ডিসিশন লয়।
মেম কেনেকুৱা টাইপৰ ভাইবা হ'ব?
ভাইবা কেনেকুৱা? ইট উইল ডিপেণ্ড অন ইয়োৰ প্ৰগ্ৰাম না।
না মেম ইংলিছৰ কথা কম।
ইংলিছৰটো গম নাপাওঁ, ইংলিছৰটো ইংলিছৰ মেমে ক'ব পাৰিব। So clear about the structure part? So structure, you can use both as function, you can also pointers, you can use normal arrays and all. Okay, about the pointer we will see in next class. Okay, similar to your structure, we have another data type, name is union. Okay, union is also similar to the structure. The difference is that when you want to define union, then you have to use the keyword union. Okay. So union is similar. You can use the word union here. Let's see what we will get here. Okay, so union and structures are both used to store collection of different data types. Just the difference is that structure, to use the structure, you have to use the struct word, and to use the union, you can just put the keyword union. Rest is just same. Okay. So your union, for the union, another difference is that for structure, for each type of member, it will keep separate memory. Okay. But for union, it will see the largest value. Okay. Whatever will be the largest or the maximum size of an element, it will just use that one. Okay. So, for example, suppose, okay, let me go to the whiteboard. So what is union? Union is just same thing, just whatever definition you got for the structure, same thing is also applicable to union, just that it uses the keyword union. Okay, rest is same. The way you define structure, the way you, it's just same. Everything is just same. Just the only advantage of using union is that it just occupy a single memory. Okay, for example, suppose for your structure, struct employee, you have variables like character X, then int Y, floats Z. Okay, so these are the different types of variables you have inside your character. Then your variable name is E1. Okay, so for character, maybe it takes 1 byte. Then for integer type, it takes 2 byte. Then for float type, it takes 4 bytes. Then there will be again, what will be the size of E1 then? Size of E1 will be the addition of all these variables, that is 4 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 7 bytes. Okay. The size of your variable E1 is 7 bytes here. But if you use union, same process, right? Just the keyword is different. Same character X, int Y, floats Z, okay, and E1. Everything is same, remember? So here, as I said, it will take 1 byte, it will 2 byte, and this one will take 4 byte. So here, the size of the E1 will be the maximum size of your member. Which one is the maximum size for the your member 4. So this Z variable is taking the highest memory of 4 bytes. So the size of E1 variable will be just 4 bytes. Okay. So it just take the maximum size of one element or one member from all the collections. Okay, that's the only difference between structure and union. Rest is just the same. Difference is in the keyword. Both are user defined variables. Both are used to store collection of different data types, and the way you declare, the way you assign values, everything is same. The only advantage of union is that the size of the variable will be the maximum size one member has taken for your union structure. And for the structure type, each member will occupy 111 type of memory. So structure is going to take more memory and union is going to take less memory. Okay, because it occupies the size of the largest member only. Okay, just take the size of the largest member. So it will occupy less memory. Okay. But there is one disadvantage, that only the last entered data can be stored in the union. Okay, it overrides the data previously stored in the union. Okay. So that is both for structure and union. Just remember the difference. Rest everything is just same. Okay. If you take the previous samples, and take the previous example, just change with the union. So it is same. Both of structure and union are used for the same purpose. Okay, you can just change the keyword. That's it. Rest is just same. Okay. Similarly, here also you can define record here instead of here. Okay, it's same. So clear both structure and union, difference between structure and union. So both are user defined data type, just that for structure, each member occupy one memory, and the collection means total size of this record will be the addition of individual memory occupied by your members in case of structure. But in case of union, whichever will take the maximum size, that will be the size of your record. Okay, that's the difference. So union occupies less memory than your structure. Clear both union structure? Yes. Okay. So don't get like confused when you see structure differently and union differently. Okay, the everything is just same. It's only about the memory thing. Okay, clear everyone? So I'll give you a program to write in both structure and union with the help of function. Okay. It's up to you what type of functions you want to use. Okay. So your task is to store a student record using structure and for union as well, but you have to use the function here inside the main function. Everything is inside. Okay, so you have to use a function to display the record. Okay, that's the task, and once you're done, just post in the group. Okay, so I'm stop sharing and take attendance. Why attendance is so low now?
Ma'am, can you say once more?
Which part?
Ma'am, the task.
Task. Okay, all the programs we did is like inside the main function, right? So same thing you have to do with the help of functions, but use structure and union. Okay, so there will be two programs. One will be using structure and one will be using union. So just the difference will be in the keyword, but you have to use function. Now it's up to you what type of function you want to use. You want to use a function to display the record, or you want to use a function to show the percentage. Maybe you can find you are giving the marks, then you want to show the percentage. So that's up to you how you want to write the program. Okay, tomorrow is your exam, so all the best for your exam. So for exam, just as I mentioned earlier, the part will be array, searching, sorting, function, recursion. Okay. So, okay, I'm ending the meeting now. Okay. Thank you all.